All right, Ty, let's jump into the sports segment here. And sports, NFL is by far and away the number one segment of sports for us. And, we are getting closer to finding out who's going to be representing the Super Bowl. In fact, we'll find out this Sunday. And on Friday, we're going to be doing our picks. And Ty's going to be assessing the betting lines, which are very crazy going into Sunday. But, let's chat about these games here. So last week, we had the 49ers and Cowboys. What was your assessment of that? What did you think would happen going into that game, and was the result about the same?
Yeah, I felt like with that game, the home team was going to win. I think you have two teams that are very, very talented. I think that the 49ers are a better coached team. I think that when you break it down, you look at every position in football, the 49ers were better with their linebacking core. They're better with their defensive front. Yep. They're better with their secondary. They're better with both offensive, defensive lines. They're better at wide receiver. They're better at running back. They're better at tight end. The one spot that definitely better is at kicker. The one thing that Dallas had going for them was they had a better quarterback.
Yeah,
they have the more talented quarterback, and he had to play lights out for them to win, and he didn't.
No.
It just didn't happen. So I'm not surprised. I've had a hard time because of Purdy giving the 49ers the credit that they deserve, but they are so sound everywhere else on that roster and coaching staff that I think all four teams that are still in it are the four best teams in the NFL, and I think all four of them could easily be Super Bowl champions this year.
Yeah, no, there's more. The Final Four this year, I think, as much as any year, like all four of them are really, really good. Mm-hmm. And I expect these championship games on Championship Sunday to be very, very even. But, yeah, I agree. That my assessment was the 49ers were going to win that game. But the thing that still was impressive, I thought, about Purdy is he was able to drop back and get to his second and third options and then deliver a strike. And he doesn't have the arm that Dak has, right?
No.
There's a reason why he was the last pick of the NFL draft, but he made the right choice, and there's something to be said about better leadership. And I think that starts at the top. With the Cowboys, you've got Jerry Jones, and, hey, he's been a great business leader and, obviously started out so successful because he brought in the right people, the Jimmy Johnsons and other people that led to so much success in the early 90s for the Dallas Cowboys. And then he started to get this hubris and think, I'm the guy. And he basically kicks Jimmy Johnson out, right? And since that time, they have not made it to one Super Bowl, and he's been the GM, and I feel like he just has gotten in the way, and he just doesn't even realize it. And now, on the other hand, let's look at the 49ers, right? So you had Jim Harbaugh, who built up the 49ers. They got to the Super Bowl. What was it, 8, 9, 10 years ago, lost to his brother, John Harbaugh, and the Ravens. It was a really good game. And then Colin Kaepernick's career kind of, went down after that, and the 49ers were back losing and doing terrible. And then they brought in John Lynch, right? Super Bowl winner, great leader of men, and he becomes the GM. And the owners, not trying to make all the decisions, they bring in John Lynch, and then John Lynch brings in Kyle Shanahan to be a coach. And how is it that they're so effective as leaders, and what can we learn from that as business leaders or leaders in our family?
Yeah, it's like we talked about earlier. Everybody in that organization understands their role, and they're so good at their job that they're putting everyone else in positions to succeed. Yeah. Right? Like you said, Dak Prescott, from a talent basis, like he's got a better arm. He's faster. He has more experience. He's the better quarterback. But Purdy is the better executor. Like, he knows his job, he trusts his coach, and he executes. And because Purdy knows his job and trusts his coach and executes, Deebo Samuel has better games. Christian McCaffrey has better games. Brandon Ayuk, Brandon Jennings, Kittle. Kittle has absolutely gone off since Purdy came in.
Dude, how about that play where he's going down the middle and he's tapping it up to himself?
Yeah, it's just a matter of everyone having that trust that the person next to them will do their job, and I think that is so important with businesses. Like you said, me trying to create a flyer is like Jerry Jones trying to be the GM of the Dallas Cowboys. Go get someone that knows what they're doing, that's a professional. You are the Dallas Cowboys. so many people have these childhood dreams of coming and playing for you. You should have no problem going out and getting the best staff and the best roster and winning Super Bowls, but he's overstepping boundaries and micromanaging down to even the coordinators. Like it's
Yeah, you're a billionaire, a sports owner, oil guy. He just made a great investment a few years ago in another oil company, and you don't have the time to go assess the talent. You don't have the time to be there in the trenches like a full-time GM would be able to do, and you're missing out. And I think what he goes for is he goes for the numbers, the fastest 40, the strongest offensive lineman, but there's more to it than that. It's the values and principles that these guys stand for, that they're going to come through in the clutch. They're going to be doing the extra effort, not just, getting by on talent alone. And I think maybe that's where he's missing out on getting the right people in the right positions.
Exactly. And whereas Lynch, he goes way deeper than that. A lot of these people on the 49ers roster, you didn't even know who they were in college.
Yeah.
You didn't even know who they were on their last NFL team, and now they're superstars. And it just goes to show, you look at the guys that have the fastest 40 times in the combine, they are never the same guys that have the fastest in-game speed that's tracked with pads on. There's a different level.
I was just thinking about that, and I was just thinking, why in the world are we timing these kids? Because, I coach my 10-year-olds tackle football, and I'm going to be coaching again next year. I'm like, why are we timing them without their pads on? No. We're going to time everybody with their pads on with all the drills next year. Yeah. I don't even know why I allowed that. The other coaches, no pads today, guys. Nope, bring your pads. We're going to time you with your pads because your football speed matters way more than your non-football speed.
And not only pads, but drop back, let them run, time them from the second the football's in the air to the second they catch it. Let's see how they can, let's track their burst. Let's say a running back, the second he gets in open space, what his top-end speed is when he's being chased. There's that different gear competitors find that you're not going to see at a combine.
Oh, so true. So true.
I think that's the same thing with work, Leo. You see that all the time where you have this super, super valuable person that has all these accolades and went to this school and that school in an interview, but it doesn't mean jack shit till you see them in the trenches. It all comes down to how they perform when they need to perform, not what they have on paper or what they can do at a combine.
You don't know how hungry they are, their actual work ethic, their big dreams, how they push through adversity versus somebody who's been given things, they're entitled, they might be very talented, but that does not translate into success.
Exactly.
And entitled people, it ends up not working out. So Bills and the Bengals. Bills were eaten alive by the Bengals. You saw this coming. I thought the Bills would show up. I thought they might be more destined. They had that crazy Damar Hamlin thing. Didn't work out. Why did the Bengals dominate them?
So my cart mate at the guy I was riding with at the golf tournament on Sunday is my buddy that I bring up a lot on here because he's a huge Bills fan. And I must say I was so pumped to watch him just suffer because obviously I'm a Dolphins fan, but I told him before the game, I as incredible as this Damar Hamlin thing is, I think that they've played it so much to where they've nearly made this guy a mascot, for hell's sake. It's in my opinion become more of a distraction than anything. I think that first game back, the kickoffs, recognizing him, his incredible recovery was great, but they've just played that for so long that it's become a distraction. I've kind of seen this downward spiral that the Bills have been on. Their defense isn't playing like they used to be. They can't stop the run. They're relying way too much on Josh Allen. They're getting out coached. That Dolphins team was pretty bad. They had a really bad third string quarterback. They had a ton of big injuries on defense, and to take them to the final drive of the game, that was when I realized, the Bills aren't beating anyone else in this playoff.
Oh, you were right on. They absolutely disappointed. The one thing about it was I thought, okay, Cincinnati's down 3 of their 5 offensive linemen, and they struggled against Baltimore. Baltimore darn near won that game.
Yeah.
And then Joe Burrow just came out on fire in the snow and was just throwing dimes, just so accurate. And I thought he moved around in the pocket really well and even ran the ball himself, which he's not known for.
No. He's not. I think they came in with a really good, strong game plan. Joe Mixon had a phenomenal game. The Bills can't stop the run right now. And it seemed like there were a lot more.
They were getting chunked 10, 15 yards every single play. And Zach Taylor, who's an offensive mind, head coach of Cincinnati, and you got Coach McDermott, who's been a good defensive coordinator for a long time and had been a good, successful coach for the Bills. They just were out, strategized significant. It was crazy. I was blown away. All right, then we got Patty Mahomes injures his right ankle. Backup comes in, does a good job on a 98-yard drive, I think, to get a touchdown for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs end up winning that game against Jacksonville. Jacksonville still played, pretty well. I think, what was it, 27-20?
Yeah, I think they got one more at the end, so made it 27-20.
Yeah, so it was not as close maybe as the score indicated there, but Chiefs get the win. Any takeaways on that one?
It all comes down to Patty Mahomes' health. Like that,
Yeah.
I think there was no surprises there.
No, I think most of us expected that.
The Chiefs are the better team right now, more veterans. I don't think anyone was surprised. I think that what I took from that game, though, is the Jaguars are going to be a very, very real team for the next 5 years.
Yes, they are. No, they've got a lot of talent across the board, tight end, receiver, running back. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence, very talented. So, yeah, good things in store. And Coach Doug Peterson, great. There's a reason why he won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia with a backup quarterback, Nick Foles. And then Eagles, just, again, I think most of us expected this. I don't know if we expected, what was it, 38-7? Like, the Eagles are dangerous. So I'm super curious to see what's going to happen, this weekend with them. But would you see the Giants were just dismantled in every way, shape, and form?
I said this a couple weeks ago. The Giants aren't good. The NFC.
I didn't think they were good.
That bad. The NFC has 3-4 okay teams, like good teams. Two really, really good teams, a couple okay teams, and then it is a massive drop off.
Yes,
a lot different than the AFC there. I didn't think the Giants had any business even beating the Vikings, but they pulled out a really, really good game, and I think it was just kind of like after that win they were spent. There was nothing left. They're not going to beat the Eagles.
Daniel Jones had his best game in a long time. And they ran the ball pretty well. So
I think they did a good job overall this year, though. I think is it Dable that left Buffalo?
Coach I mean, you got to take your hat off to him because they turned it around.
I mean, by far the worst wide receiving core you've seen in the NFL in quite some time, and Daniel Jones still had a very productive year. I think if they fill a few gaps, a few holes, they could have some exciting years coming up.
Yeah, definitely they've got some potential there.